back, YouTube, to another episode of 10 with Travis, where we take just 10 minutes a day to dive deep into the Word so you can be more equipped today than you were yesterday. On today's episode, we're going to talk about the first night of the conference. So if you haven't watched the last few videos, I talked about the church that I attend, Bethel Harvest Church. We had a conference November 8th through the 10th at Friday night, Saturday and Sunday morning and night sessions. So we've been diving deep into those and what the speakers were talking about. So the last 4 episodes, we talked about the power of your voice. So this is the sermon or the preaching that was done on Saturday night. And now we're going to jump kind of backwards actually into Friday night. So the overarching theme of this conference was as in heaven. So all 3 speakers knew that theme of being as in heaven, but none of them collaborated together. So we're going to kind of see how God orchestrated and used, some common themes throughout the whole weekend to build upon each other. So the scripture that our pastor, which is Pastor Marion Dalton, which he kicked us off on Friday night, there was 2 of them that he used. And the first one was Matthew 6:9 through 10. And this is Jesus talking to his disciples. And it says, "In this manner, therefore pray, Our Father in heaven, hallowed be your name. Your kingdom come, your will be done on earth as it is in heaven." And then he used Matthew 16:19 to go along with that. And it reads, "And I will give you the keys of the kingdom of heaven. And whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven. And whatever you loose on earth will be loosed in heaven." So this was a great setup. Again, this was Friday, and Pastor Isaac, which we've talked about the last 4 episodes, was from his stuff on Saturday. So Pastor Dalton talking about this right away was just a great setup for the power of your voice, because we are basically saying that we're using our voice to pray to bring heaven down to earth. We are also using our voice in declaring that whatever is not allowed in heaven, we are not going to allow on earth, and we're going to declare that. We're also going to declare, using our words, that whatever is permitted or allowed or supposed to be operating in its correct capacity in heaven will come down and operate in its correct capacity here on earth as well. So this is just a great setup for when Pastor Isaac said that our voices are spiritual weapons used to take spiritual authority. So to close Friday night, the third of the 3 guest speakers, which I haven't spoke about yet, is Dr. Coy Barker. So he began to mention, and he's one that is a great storyteller. He's a little bit older, and he has had some great miracles and great experiences of setting people free, seeing healing, seeing financial breakthroughs. So go ahead and YouTube him as well, because you will see some great stuff from him, and he really goes ahead and builds your faith by taking some stories which we do see in the Bible, but applied to his life, and then it gives us a little bit more faith to be able to believe that for ourselves as well. So something that he mentioned was that he spoke on you get whatever you can see. So if you can see it, you can receive it. And he wasn't talking about natural eyes. He wasn't saying if you can see it here on earth, you can get it, but instead in a spiritual sense. So if you can see yourself in the spirit, you can see yourself in your future self being healed, being whole, being prosperous, all those types of things, then you can really use your faith to pull it into your now and bring that future healing to you at this moment. So I do think this was a great prelude to the power of your voice as well, because the first part of Proverbs 23:7 says, "For as he thinketh in his heart, so he is." So we've talked a lot about your words are, the actions and the declarations used to determine who you are or how your situation is. But here in Proverbs it says, "As he thinketh in his heart, so he is." So we have to be able to say what God says about us, as we talked about the power of voice, but we also have to be able to think about ourselves the way God thinks about us. And, a couple examples are, we can't think ourselves to be losers when God thinks that we're winners. We can't think that we're broke when God thinks that we're rich. And we can't think that we're sinners when God thinks that we're sons and daughters, that we're saved by grace through faith. So we also see in Matthew, which again we read Matthew 6 and Matthew 16 when Pastor Dalton talked about it. We do see two other instances in Matthew where what is in our heart or our minds. So, as us think, what's in the heart and the mind actually comes out in our words. So it's tying all these together. It's tying the heart with the mind, with the thinking, with the speaking. So Matthew 12:34 reads, "Brood of vipers, how can you, being evil, speak good things? For out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks." Matthew 15:18 reads, "But those things which proceed out of the mouth come from the heart, and they defile a man." So I love verse 34 of chapter 12, where it says, "For out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks." So as we continue this challenge that we've talked about, having an accountability partner, watching what you're saying, all that good stuff, you might need to take a step backwards and really evaluate what's in your heart, what's in your mind. Again, we need to fill ourselves with Jesus. We need to fill ourselves with godly things so it continues to flow out of us, right? It's going to start in our heart and our mind, and it's going to flow out through our words of, what's inside of us is what is going to come out of us. And some of us just need to continue to buckle down and pray for that and just truly ask God for a new heart and just a revitalized spirit, because Ezekiel 36:26 says, "I will give you a new heart and put a new spirit within you." So ask yourself, ask God today for yourself, "Lord, I need a new heart. I need a revitalized spirit." Because again, as we think, so we speak, and so we will be. So fill yourself with Jesus, with the grace of God, with all of those good things, and just watch it just completely come from the outside to in, marinate in you, and then come out in the words that you speak and the way that you act. So that does it for today. I hope you have a blessed day, and we will see you on the next episode of 10 with Travis.